Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. It's 10/16/2019, and I'm happy to report today that the spiritual warfare of the last 6 weeks, latest thing that I've been going through, is just about finished. And happy to report that the cat is finally just about back to normal after about 6 weeks. I think this period of latest round of spiritual warfare is about over. And I think that it was brought on by the fact that I'm just about ready to receive some of the long awaited things that the Lord has promised me. And then move forward and do all the things that I'm supposed to do and I was called to do years ago, and get that started and taken care of between now and the rapture or something. And the enemy knew it. So he simply came in like a flood or whatever, to try to discourage me and get me to quit. And it kind of reminds me of that thing in the story of Job, where when he was going through that testing and his wife said, well, why don't you just curse God and die and get it over with? Well, that was kind of like the message from the enemy this last 6 weeks. Well, why don't you just quit? Is this calling worth all the spiritual warfare and persecution and everything that might come from your faith in him and standing up for him? Is it worth it? Is it worth all of this? Did you really know that you were going to be getting into all this kind of stuff when you got into this and started the channel? That type of stuff for the last 5 or 6 weeks, just simply trying to get somebody to quit. What I did find out in the last week, during this break period, is when I was asked the Lord about this impeachment thing that's going on. And I was basically given the name Haman came to mind from the book of Esther. And Haman was the principal minister to the king. Haman was plotting to kill the Jews, and the plot was foiled by Esther, who informed the king at the banquet that Haman was plotting to kill the Jews. On the king's orders, then Haman was hanged from a 50-cubit gallows that had originally been built by Haman himself in order to hang Mordecai. And the bodies of Haman's 10 sons were also hung. And in all, the Jews killed 75,000 of their enemies during that time. And the impeachment, if it were to succeed, will bring about another Haman-type judgment upon all those that are part of the plot to impeach Trump. The plan will backfire, and the secret scandals of many politicians will be exposed. And even if it fails, now here's the thing, even if it fails, even if they don't take a vote, because I guess Nancy Pelosi's, said right now while they're investigating, they got the inquiry going on or something, that they don't have to take a vote. And so she's held off right now on taking a vote. And the truth of the matter is, they might not have enough votes even when they take the vote, without a lot of Republicans crossing over and voting for it, in order to have the majority to impeach. And so even if they take a vote, it may not pass unless a lot of Republicans were to go along with it. So anyway, what the Lord was telling me was the plan will backfire and the secret scandals of many politicians will be exposed. And even if it fails and is dropped at this point, these judgments may still go forth. The story of the 120,000 that are supposed to be arrested by the Marines, is it possible it could all be true? Is it almost time for the swamp to be drained? And that possibility is certainly one of the reasons that they want Trump out of office and removed. And they, as he said in some public statements since all of that stuff started, that they've been trying to impeach him now for 3 years. It's been going on ever since he took office, this idea of impeaching him on something and getting him out of office. And the idea that, he won illegally or something with the help of Russian interference or something, and now this thing in Ukraine, and then what we found out since that all this started was that the company that Joe Biden's son worked for ended up paying him a $900,000 payment, which hasn't been explained why he got it. Why would a father or a mother that had a son or a daughter working for any company, whether it was in Ukraine or over here or anywhere, why would that company pay a person's parent $900,000? There's got to be something. There's got to be more going on here. Maybe, like I say, Trump was onto something when he was talking to the guy over there to begin with. Obviously, something was going on. So, I mean, we'll find out as time goes on what's going on, but something ain't right. Something's not right big time with that. And then the other thing that I saw today was, the blizzard caused massive crop losses. Remember, we had the floods a few months ago and they had lost a lot of their crops, and they were talking about the prices of all that stuff going up in the fall as a result of the flooding and everything and the crop loss. So they had a historic, this was a historic Midwest blizzard anyway. It was like a record-setting blizzard that caused massive crop losses, and there was 2 feet of snow in Colorado and Minnesota as a result of it, and they had only gotten recovered. First of all, they only got 57% of what a normal crop would be. They were only at that to begin with. And out of that, they had only recovered, out of that first harvest thing, they only had recovered 15% of the crops out of 58%. And then whatever they had, so totally they would have had, with the final harvest or something, they might have gotten, it might have been like something like 30 or 40% that they could have recovered had they been able, had the snowstorm not happened. But because the snowstorm happened, it's a total loss there now. And finally, earthquakes increasing again. They just keep, today there was a magnitude 6.4 again in the Philippines, which they've had several this year already. And Yellowstone had a magnitude 3.0. And then over in San Andreas, they're still experiencing earthquake swarms over there. And I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, they had, I don't know if it was a 2 point something or a 3 point something over there on the new Madrid fault over there in that fault line. So that was yesterday. So I mean, just left and right all over. More and more signs of these increasing birth pains. It shows us that time is running out, and our redemption is about to draw nigh. But the Lord just wanted people to realize that if they manage to take a vote, if they manage to get enough Republicans or something to cross over, and actually make it so that they've got the votes to impeach, it's going to be disastrous. It'll have disastrous results. And even if they don't, as I've already said, the Lord is still saying that some of these judgments may come anyway. And there's a lot of politicians there in Washington that are involved in scandals that the public don't know anything about. So that's what I've got for now. I'll see you on the next upload. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing the videos. God bless each and every one of you. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.